Welcome my people to LAJUPOG Watch TV. We are back again with another vital and eye-opening update. As always, we are committed to bringing you the latest and most relevant information about the issues that matter most. Today, we have a crucial update on the economic situation and the ongoing protest against bad governance and economic hardship. So therefore, if you are joining us for the first time or watching this video, please take a moment to like and comment on our videos. Your engagement helps us bring you more content and ensure that you get the latest recommendation tailored to your interests. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our update. Yesterday, President Tinubu addressed the nation regarding the economic hardship that continues to plague our citizens. Many hope that this speech would finally address their pressing concern. However, the speech has been widely rejected as it failed to meet the expectations and demands of the protesters. This disappointment has been echoed by the political analysts and organizers who have criticized the speech for lacking substance and failing to provide tangible solution. In our previous video, we discussed claims that President Tinubu lacks effective communication skills, and this latest speech has only fueled those concerned. There was even a scandal suggesting that the speech was leaked beforehand, allowing citizens to read along with the president in real time. This led to further analysis and the realization that their needs were not addressed, leaving many feeling betrayed and unheard. Big matters was in the wake of this disagreement. One of the protest organizers were arrested at his home around 2 a.m. this morning. Reports indicate that he was tortured and humiliated, prompting other organizers to demand his immediate release. This development has only intensified the situation, with protests growing louder and more widespread. In this video, we will dive deeper into the reactions to Presidential Tinubu's speech and the unfolding event following the protest organizers' arrest. We will share exclusive interviews with key political analysts and protest leaders who will provide their insights and forehand account of what is happening on the ground. We will also show you footage from the protest capturing the raw emotions and determinations of the citizens demanding change. Before we dive into these details, if you are viewing this for the first time or you're just visiting the page for the very first time, please like, comment, share this video on all social media platforms.
Welcome to LAJUPOG TV.
The home of crime scene
is happening in the street again.
The center of political news, celebrity gossip, religious gossip, and happenings in the society.
Join us, the voice of Africa.
Welcome back, my people. Earlier today on Punch News, it was revealed that several prominent political figures vehemently denounced President Tinubu's speech, stating it failed miserably to recognize the people's needs. They described it as a complete embarrassment and a monumental disappointment to the citizens of Nigeria. Among the critics was Wole Soyinka, who expressed immense regret and annoyance over the situation. He did not mince words, calling President Tinubu a stubborn and insensitive leader who has blatantly failed to recognize the priorities of the citizens. Soyinka urged Tinubu to make immediate amends and to support the protesters, thereby addressing the rapidly escalating situation before it spirals out of control. Additionally, Femi Falana, who voiced his profound disappointment, describing the speech as a sinful, undirectional, and utterly unreasonable, noting that it was off topic and failed to address the core issues at hand. He lambasted President Tinubu for requesting dialogue from an enraged populace, comparing them to lions running in a dry forest looking for predators to devour. Falana further stressed that the speech would only fuel the fire of protest, as it was disheartening and nonsensical. He argued that the speech did not address the protesters' main demand, the review of the fuel subsidy withdrawal policy. Falana praised the protesters for their bravery in highlighting the plight of Nigerians and demanded the immediate release of detained protesters, condemning the brutal repression they face. He also called for commissions of inquiry to investigate the killings that occurred during the protest, emphasizing that justice must be served. Moreover, it's not just these two prominent figures who are speaking out. A wave of political analysts, activists, and ordinary citizens are raising their voices against what they see as a grossly inadequate and dismissive response from the president. Social media is ablaze with criticism, and the streets are echoing with chants of defiance. People are fed up with empty promises and rhetoric that fails to translate into meaningful action. The consensus is clear. Nigeria wants and deserves real change, not more of the same failed policies and inefficient leadership. In an interview with Mohammed Abdullah, a respected public affairs analyst, to get his take on the situation, during the interview, Abdullah dissected President Tinubu's address, questioning whether it reflects any genuine understanding of Nigeria's struggles, as if it calls for dialogue as sincere or just another political maneuver. Abdullah highlighted the president's apparent disconnect from the realities by ordinary Nigerians and questioned whether Tinubu is capable of handling the country's aggressive and volatile situation. Abdullah also explored the potential next step if the protesters remain dissatisfied and continue their struggle for justice and economic relief. It's a powerful and growing movement that seeks to reshape the future of Nigeria. The voices of the people are rising. They will not be silent. The government attempt to suppress the protest through arrest and intimidation only serve to strengthen the resolve of the demonstrators. As we continue to cover this developing story, we bring you the latest update and in-depth analysis to ensure you are informed and engaged. This and more is what you'll be getting on this video. Please let's watch this video. We'll be right back.
In the same vein, human rights lawyer Femi Falana has called on President Bola Tinubu to address the demands of the peaceful protesters. In a statement on Sunday, Falana said that the presidential speech delivered this morning fell short of addressing the key demands of the protesters, reversal of the policy of withdrawal of fuel subsidy. Now, while congratulating the protesters for drawing the attention of politicians who are eating in Abuja to the plight of millions of Nigerians who are hungry, Falana demanded the immediate and unconditional release of all protesters that were arrested and detained, saying they had not committed any criminal offense. Falana also condemned the repression of the peaceful protesters while commiserating with all those who lost loved ones in the protest. He called on the government to set up commissions of inquiry to bring to justice those responsible for the reckless killings. Now, joining us on the news is Mohammed Abdullahi, a public affairs analyst. Hello, Mohammed. Thank you for joining us at this time.
Good evening, Nigerians. It's my pleasure.
All right. Now, speaking of the protest and the president's address, do you think that the president's address shows that he truly gets what Nigerians are going through? And, is he offering, or would you say he's offering real solutions to their struggles, or it's just more of the same thing?
First and foremost, I think we must give kudos to the presidency for at least after the third day of the protest, coming out to, address Nigerians. That is good. It means the presidency is listening. I'm not talking particularly about the president, but the presidency as a whole is listening, and at least they are seeing what is going on across the length and breadth of Nigeria. But for me, this is my opinion, that is just where it stops. Listening to the address of the president this morning was quite not motivating because it reveals the fact that while President Tinubu and this administration was coming into existence, they actually understood to some extent the challenge or the many challenges of Nigerians, particularly where we are coming from the previous government. But perhaps because they are from the same party, he's been unable to voice out. And then when it is at the critical moment now, the president is really accepting the fact that Nigeria's economy and even the state of infrastructure and so many other things are in shambles. But having said that, I think what is painful for Nigerians, seriously, is the fact that these austerity measures are just meant only for downtrodden and ordinary Nigerians. If the government led by example or is leading by example, I tell you, a whole lot of Nigerians on the street today will really understand and support the government to make things work. Yes, we know we can't continue with subsidy as it were. We know so many things have to change. But the people at the helm of affairs, starting with the president, I must say, is not, is not following suit. What do I mean? The president understands that we don't have more money for subsidy, we don't have all other things, but he's had the most bloated cabinet ever in Nigeria, at least about 50 or so ministers, or even more. In fact, recently he just created a new ministry of livestock whatsoever. That is one. Secondly, we don't have money, but we refurbish the vice president's home, someone who has been in governance as a commissioner, as a governor for at least 16 years, enjoying taxpayers' money. We refurbish that same person's home for 21 billion Nigerian naira. Come on. And so many other things that people in government, from the presidency, the legislature, we increased the judiciary salary by more than 300%. It was speedily passed by the National Assembly. And yet, you are asking Nigerians to endure and endure and endure while you, at the helm of affairs, is living so large, luxuriously. Nobody will understand with you. Seriously. I think these are some of the areas or the main areas where Nigerians are not with the government.
Now, talking about, making it work, you did mention a fuel subsidy quite a number of times. But, the removal of fuel subsidy and also the abolition of, multiple foreign exchange systems were mentioned as necessary economic measures, in the address. Now, but I want you to tell us how you think these measures or these decisions have actually impacted the average Nigerian.
As it is, yes, like I mentioned earlier, these are perhaps necessary evils that we needed to do with. But the President Bola Ahmed TINUBU, came about all this in a very wrong way. Let me tell you, the fact that while accepting, reading out his speech as the President of Nigeria on May 29, 2023, the President made mention categorically that fuel subsidy is gone. That catchphrase only was terrible. It sent so many shockwaves across the country, and people began to run helter-skelter. Businesses began to, things began to fail immediately. I thought, and this is my opinion, that the President should have allowed himself settle down, understood what is happening, and then, plan out things. What he did was he just took a decision, and then at the end, reacting to the decision that he took, which was wrong. He was supposed to, and he and his cabinet were supposed to put plans and measures together to cushion the effect of removal of subsidy before the actual announcement. That will have, reduced some of the extraordinary measures that Nigerians are passing through today. I tell you, that catchphrase alone on the 29th of May 2023 was really, really terrible, and it sent so many shockwaves across the economy in Nigeria. So I think what happened, is that people didn't plan. So many businesses and individuals across the country did not plan for the shockwave that happened on the 29th of May, and the ripple effect is what we are seeing all over. Everything because of the removal of subsidy, which was done.
Okay. So the ripple effect is what is affecting everyone in Nigeria. Even the elites actually, they might not be feeling the pain as much as the common masses, but they're actually suffering it. So talking about that now, on one hand, we were seeing that so many people are suffering, and on the other hand, you're saying that the president's speech did not address what the protesters are actually fighting for. So do you think that President Tinubu's call for a suspension of the protest and embracing dialogue is the right step in the right direction?
Definitely, it's the right step, but are people willing to listen? I've just seen a breaking news that perhaps in Plateau State and Jos in particular, the protesters are calling on shop owners and businesses to either close down and join them or close down their businesses. So, are the protesters willing to listen? Remember, the number one thing that is bedeviling Nigerians today is actually food insecurity. Food hunger is there, insecurity is there. So the government needs to, I understand, like in the president's speech where he mentioned that, they've opened the borders for some certain foods, including rice, to come in for the next 6 months without tax and so on and so forth. It's fine, but that is not enough. The president needs to do more. Perhaps cutting down on his cabinet, making so much announcement. In fact, offices that were not voted for should be scrapped. So many other things that needed to be done. So I don't think the president had really addressed the protesters in this speech. Perhaps they might look inwards and see other things that they needed to do in order to pacify the protesters. And again, you also understand that some of the things driving the protest, perhaps the answers was more heat in Lagos. But this particular protest, if you've been watching the trends, Kano is actually more heat. And then it's also the fact that perhaps in my own little findings is because the ruling party is not there in Kano. So the protest has different what is it called? Scenarios.
Well, let's get the real deal. President Tinubu's so-called address to the nation was not just a disappointment. It was an outright slap in the face to every man, woman, and child struggling to make ends meet in this country. His speech failed spectacularly to grasp the magnitude of our suffering and the urgency of our demand. Instead of offering genuine solutions, he served us a bland mix of empty promises and uninspired rhetoric, and we are not buying it. Let's take a moment to reflect on why we've taken to the streets, risking our lives and enduring brutality. We are protesting because the government policies have driven us into the ground. The withdrawal of the fuel subsidy, a move that was supposed to be a panacea for economic inefficiencies, has instead resulted in a skyrocketing cost of living. Prices of basic necessities have soared beyond the reach of ordinary Nigerians. Our hard-earned wages no longer stretch far enough to cover the essentials. The economic policies of the administration have turned our daily lives into a relentless struggle for survival. So when Tinubu stand before us and talked about dialogue and patience, it feels like a cruel joke. How can he speak of patience when we are at the brink of despair? How can he ask us to wait for a solution when his own policies are suffocating us? His address was a textbook example of out of touch this administration is with the harsh realities faced by the people. Instead of acknowledging the catastrophic impact of the subsidy removal, and he offers particles that do nothing to alleviate our pain or address our core grievances. And let's not forget the violence and repression that we face. Protesters have been beaten, arrested, and tortured simply for standing up against a government that seems more interested in silent dissent than addressing the root cause of our discontent. The recent address of one of our leaders in the dead of night and brutal treatment he endured is a stark reminder of the length this government will go to suppress our voices. But this only strengthens our resolve. We will not be intimidated into silence. We will not allow our struggle to derail by act of violence or intimidation. President Tinubu's speech did nothing to address the immediate and pressing needs of the people. It was a missed opportunity to offer a concrete plan for reversing the disastrous fuel subsidy policy and providing relief to those most affected. Instead, it seemed designed to pacify and deflect rather than engage with the real issue. This kind of response is not just inadequate, it is insulting. It is an insult to our intelligence, to our suffering, and to our unwavering determination to see changes. Our message is clear and uncompromising. With Tinubu, you have a choice. You can continue to ignore us and dismiss our suffering, or you can take meaningful steps to address the crisis you've helped create. Your speech was a failure, but it's not too late to change course. We are watching and we will hold you accountable. The struggle continues and our resolve is unshakable. Thank you very much once again for watching this episode. Please stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share. And stay tuned for our next video.